please make sure to hit that like button, as it will greatly help push me through the analytics, as there's 37 people here already. Wow. Wow. So some of you realize the importance of today's daily close already. So that's pretty impressive. I appreciate that. Um, as we do have a lot to talk about. ATK, welcome in. XRP, NCLT. Richard, good evening. Xtreme, welcome in. Jason, JIOV, Devin, John Hall, Trading with J-Ride, Dean. Appreciate TK, welcome in. Donald Troop, good evening. Hello, Tom. I'm an XRP future millionaire. I've been buying and holding XRP for 7 years, buying more every payday, every 2 weeks. You've got a pretty nice position built up now. A lot of different areas of opportunity. Dean, good evening. Mario, Randy, welcome in. Waiting for the 20% drop for XRP. We'll see what happens here. We'll go over everything on today's chart as we're only 12 minutes away from the daily close. Albert, welcome in. X-Raptor. Mr. Extra Sour Cream Taco Supreme, we're holding up time for a rally. What you think, Tom? We'll get into all of that right now, I promise. Christian, good evening. Mohammed, Tim Bates, John Patak, Russ D, Shift TA, welcome in. Albert, what's going on, my friend? Sahir, welcome in. Or Sashir. So for XRP right now, Tanya, welcome in, love. Good to see everybody in here. 7 months and 20 days as a member, Devin. I really appreciate that. I love Edit. How you doing? George T, good evening. See, everybody's realizing the importance of today's close. That's good to see. So in the weekly time frame, I'll just go over it real quick. This is where we're trying to get up to by the daily close in best case scenario, $54.99. Get back on top of the weekly. Our major motivation today was to at least, at worst, close over the 525 because that's the 200-day support in the daily. But we wanted to get up here and try to retake the ascending triangle at 544. So that's where we were trying to get up to. Right now, we're at 539. Very easily overtook the 526, or the 528, depending on where it's at now, which is the 200-day daily support. However, this is so far going to be on the daily candle rejection of the ascending triangle. We have a a bearish cross here, but we're holding the 200-day. So technically the trend reversal can't finish yet, and it goes into this. It's again in a bigger setting now. Is it a bear flag or is it a bull flag? That's what we all have to ask ourselves. Let me put it into a lower time frame. Actually, you know what? It's easier in the daily because then I can show you it. Is this a bear flag? Nope, I gotta make it even. Still looks like crap. Is this a bear flag? Or is this gonna end up being a bull flag? Like, we pulled up so far, it's one of those things. It's disguised. It could go either way. That's what I'm saying. Like, we talked about it the other day. Now that it's like this, it looks like a bear flag to start, but the way it pulled up, that looks like a bull flag now. And as long as we hold, first layer to hold would absolutely be the 200-day in the daily. Absolutely, without a doubt. That's the number one spot to hold here. At worst, you can't come below that. If you have a daily close there, it's very bearish. Yes, the bulls would hold the 51 cent, which is technically it's the 200-day in the weekly, but right now we got to focus on the smaller time frame because we've had the bearish cross. Now we're gonna have to do some work to invalidate that. In the 4-hourly, it's easier to see. We need to break back over, and we're not gonna know anything until after this daily candle. We're just not gonna be able to. They have already shorted the market 1970 legend. Yep. Oh, I understand. I see everybody who's shorted the market. Whether somebody shorts the market or not, I look at the market the same way. I look at the current market flow. So everybody's shorting the market, but I've seen it many times when everybody's shorting the market, and then we, tend to not look where we're supposed to because now all of a sudden we're all shorting. A lot of liquidity we have if it goes the other way. Liquidity works both ways, but we have to look for the indicators. The weekly right now, We're already, I think, are we going to be able to close over 544? Probably not, unless we get a burst here. And of course, XRP, what does it do every time I go live? Whoops. For some reason, every time I go live on TradingView, it's like they're trying to give themselves bad publicity. My Binance chart always goes away. Actually, this time it wasn't my Binance chart. Which one was it? Ooh, I don't even know what the other one I use is. Bitstamp, maybe? I think that's it. Yeah, it deleted my Bitstamp chart, which is important because that's the all-time chart. So we're going to tie this in, everybody. It's just, I'm like, what is going on here with the charts? So now I got to bring this one back up. Anybody who watches knows what's going on here. This happens all the time with TradingView ever since this update a couple months ago for some reason. Man, chat is going fast. How many people? 122 people in here. Thank you very much. But make sure to hit that like button. Only 56 likes, 127 people watching. If you don't hit that like button, more people aren't going to come in here and tune in. More like-minded people at that. I mean, if you want to, you can always send a YouTube super chat if you really appreciate my work, or join Tom's Army. But really, all you have to do is hit that like button. Let's see. Let me go back into the XRP chart. Albert, thank you so much for the $19.99 donation. Keep up the great work. Good vibes to all. Little Red Velvet runs this evening. Ooh. For the show of positivity all the ways, brother. I really appreciate that. Thanks, Omar. The like button, indeed. That would be nice. So, with the short-term chart as we're talking about, Tom is this still a cup and handle pattern? Yes. Yes. It is still a cup and handle pattern. We'll get into it in a minute with the cup and handle. So, in the weekly, we're trying to hold, as we know, get up to the 544. We're slightly under it right now, which is fine, because then you go down into the daily. We're clearly holding the 200-day right now. However, we need to notice we've had the bearish cross, and if we close below 528, which doesn't look like we're going to now, would be a bearish sign. We're still closing under the ascending triangle resistance right now. There's only 6 minutes left, and that's at 544, I'll say. And then above that is about 55 cents for the weekly 20-day support, which is where I would like us to be. But it's not happening right now. So if that plays out, and let's just say we can't get back into the falling wedges. We got rejected up here at the falling wedge, as you can see in the 2-hour. Right now, we're still holding the 2-hour support. We still don't look bad, but even after the close, it looks like we're going to need to validate this move because we don't have a lot of strength here. And it's showing a little bearishness, but we could come down here and bounce off the 20-day and the 2-hourly. But if this formation fails, let's just say we get rejected here, your technical target would be down here at 49, but the target, if we break through here, lose the 435, because I don't think the 435 is going to hold if we come back down. I think we would go and seek out the 2020 uptrend. And it did it again, folks. It's like I'm trying to do the smooth rotation, but it keeps deleting my, oh, maybe not. Now it popped up. It didn't show it at first. So, Bitstamp, this is my all-time chart. So, XRP right now, we're getting rejected by the formation. We have two lower high formations. If we pull this out a little bit, just so everybody can see. We got rejected, rejected. This could be a third of successive lower highs where we keep getting rejected at least. But that's pulling it out into the grand scheme. You know, we've got, this is where the real downtrending resistance is. This is the pattern formation. So when XRP broke up, it was a big fake out because we came back within the all-time pattern. Somebody says, when's the move to 37 cents? 37 cents is where you go if you validate a breakdown from here. That's the 2020 uptrend. I would put it at about 54% right now that we're going to hit there, but I think that's a bit deceiving because we could very well reverse that number by the first step, closing over the daily 200 support and holding that and at least showing strength after 3 days under it. That would be a nice show of strength here, but this could play out as the fake, you know, J-hook kind of looking thing. But what we have to remember is Look how far this pulled up. That absorbed a lot of that drop. So it basically flipped it from a bear flag to a bull flag here. So where the bearish cross is, I would like to think it's going to come up there, even if it's bearish, just because you oftentimes validate a bearish cross in the daily before a further move down if it's bearish. So we'd kind of be going outside of the order book here if we don't go up there. We're holding the 20-day and the 4-hourly. So 3 minutes, we're looking basically in the 3 minutes that's left. We'll keep it in the daily for a second. We're trying to close over 528 at worst. 528 at worst, you hold the 200-day, and it would be the first time closing over the 200-day support, which means you broke back through resistance, and the bulls at least showed a little bit of steam because you had two candles in a row under it after the breakdown. So now finally 3 days later, so that's actually a sign of strength, but it could just be a fake out. We have a bearish cross. This could be a deceiving signal. The weekly, we're still under where I would have liked to have finished the day in the week, but we do not invalidate the golden cross just because if we close under. It would not invalidate the golden cross. Just remember that. We have a common misconception within the XRP community, mainly probably because of influencers, but it does not invalidate the weekly golden cross just because you close under the weekly support at the 20-day. We're close enough. You could close at this level for weeks and it wouldn't matter. Months, it wouldn't matter. You would still just be consolidating in. You would need to close at like 37 cents for a couple weeks in order for that to fulfill. But right now, in the immediate short term, you can see we're trying to make a short-term pattern rotation here. In the 30-minute, we're about, what is this, a golden cross here now? So we're trying to see if we can hold a golden cross. So that's what we finished the day with, was a golden cross in the 30. So are we building pressure? It's possible. I like the daily close. The daily close is going to be good over the 200-day support. The weekly leaves some to be desired. Like the fact that we came so close and we couldn't at least push over the ascending triangle and the weekly support. I mean, we've only got 1 minute. It's all but over right now. 150 people watching. Make sure you hit that like button. Only 88 likes. I'd like to think my content's worth more than half the people hitting the like. That's please hit the like button. I would greatly appreciate it. I put in a lot of time, a lot of effort. I don't charge anybody for anything. No paid advertisements, paid promotions, or paid sponsorships of any kind. I don't hide my stuff behind a paywall. I'm here every day. All I ask for is a simple like. Especially on a Sunday. See, I'm here on a Sunday. Like always. You know, show that gratitude. Good, at least we got over 100. I appreciate that. So the daily close just happened. Daily close just happened. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. T.I., welcome in. Tim Bates, good evening. Puentas, not much. We were waiting for the daily close. And we finally got it. Well, not finally. We've only been on for like 13 minutes. So the daily close, or the weekly close, see that? Just below. We closed just below. At 548 is where we were trying to hold. And we closed just below. But look at that pull-up. That's a pretty remarkable pull-up in the weekly now here. So, in your opinion in the comments, is that a lost cause or is that a nice pull-up here to try to reverse? A lot happens here in the beginning of this candle. Now, your job is, that's a wide drop here. You're not going to want to test the bottom. We're going to try. You would want to try to break over the top. But that's a wide move. You've got 43 cents to the bottom side and approximately 65 to the top on that weekly candle. That's a wide candle. So if we break down, our target is 37.5 cents. That's just the target. That's in the all-time pattern as we see right now. And I kept it on this chart because it's easier to see. I'll go back to the short-term chart. But on the weekly, this is easier to see. This is the wider formation when XRP tried to break out. If this pattern plays true, just for transparency purposes, if this played out true, it would go over here, and it would take until August of 24 before a nice big breakout. That's only if it stays in the pattern. I just like to have that there for the apex moment. There's no reason for it to just follow it all the way. It doesn't have to. Yes, a lot of people are calling for lows. That's why I keep saying we have to be cautiously optimistic and be aware of a drop to 37.5, but it doesn't feel right. Look at the volume. It was crashing in the weekly. We started with 453 million. On this big wide candle drop, 127 million. Does that seem right to you guys? Yeah, I'm not selling. I've already told everybody I bought at 346 this time around in the bear market. Sold at $1.66 in 2021. At $1.66, had a 47-cent average. We've been over the story a million times. So now it's the accumulation phase. I won't buy until it's 20% below 346. And you guys all seen a perfect example why, when it went all the way to 93.5 cents and everybody's buying, raising their averages, I'm already happy with what I own. If I never buy another XRP, I'm very happy. I did what I wanted and then some. Along with all the other ISO tokens and such that I own now in that Internet of Things. Yes, if stock market continues down, absolutely, it will. But, you know, we don't know what's going to happen. Do you think the government's ready to give in right now? Right before our election? Right before they're about to put us back to where we're at in 2021? Use your brain with the blah, blah, blah. We're about to go back into that in the USA in September, so just get your shit ready. So you really think they're getting ready? Or do you think this is optics? Do you think they might want to boast up a little bit still? The US dollar, they're boasting it for a reason. There's a reason it hasn't broke down yet. The moment this breaks down, I don't think it's ready yet, though. It might not be ready. Because if the government with the bricks on the 22nd, they're trying to make it appear strong right now. They're trying to make everything appear strong. What happens with the bricks on Tuesday? Does anybody have any idea? Or does anybody give it any thought about what's going to happen Tuesday? That could very well change the trajectory. Monthly RSI on stocks and Bitcoin is down. Yeah, it's going to start approaching an oversold because we haven't had a big enough run up yet. Because look, we fell all the way. Normally you have a nice retracement now. But we'll see. Gold price could go up. Yes, it could. It won't happen immediately. Terry, bricks is a fantasy. Well, I mean, you can believe whatever you want, but that is a fantasy to believe that. No disrespect. I believe it's very significant. Ripple is working with CBDC. They absolutely are working with CBDC. They're working. There's a lot of connections with Ripple now. Not only MasterCard, but we've heard a lot of stuff over the past few days as well. The BRICS thing is a big deal. That's how you get off the gold. That's how you're going to get the nations back on the gold standard. They've already said that are willing to pay Saudi Arabia in gold if you want to buy petrol with your native currency. How is that not relevant? That's relevant. Exactly. But listen, even if crypto rises, and we're going to continue talking about XRP here, but what if we have a Venezuela-like event about to happen here? That's all I've been warning people about since 2021. Become your own central bank. Because Venezuela didn't think it could happen. But once their money got devalued as toilet paper, gold and silver was king over there. Oh, nobody said there's going to necessarily be nobody said about the Brinks currency. I'm asking what's going to happen. That's a theory that they're going to announce that they're going to be on the gold back standard. That's one of the scenarios. That's going to happen at some point. Whether it happens on Tuesday or not, that is the master plan. They've already announced it. That's already been announced. We already know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. They're sick of the US dollar. It's not going to take 50 years. This is not England. This is a different time we're in. This is not like any other time in history that we've been a part of. They erase history every so often and start over. But right now, this is as advanced as we've been in this current run. True, welcome in. JW, good evening. Yes, I agree, Terry. It will eventually happen. Now, Tuesday, I'm a little speculative that they're going to announce it Tuesday. I think that would be too easy for all of us, but you never know. The theory is by November 1st, they could have a unilateral move where they all of a sudden, all these countries that are part of the BRICS, they take away and they stop putting, they don't want any more of the U.S. bonds. They don't want any more of the anything. They don't want government bonds. They don't want U.S. dollar. They don't want any of the fiat. They don't want any of it. They don't care about the 5.5% or whatever they can get on it. They don't care. Because this is the problem, like I said when we started doing it, and we started to make a joke about it, when you put sanctions across the world, when it's their money, their currency, and that's how their families are fed, that's when they pull out. I agree, Terry, it would have took decades to happen had we have not played that card over and over. But once you start telling people you can't buy something, the citizen who has no objective there, they can't buy something, the government's going to do something so they're not overthrown. It happens every single time. And you know what? Like I tell everybody, we're on the wrong side of history where I live. It's not my fault my family moved here from Italy 2 generations ago because the same thing happened there. It's not my fault I know what's about to happen because of what I've heard my whole life. I've seen this play out just in the eyes of my grandparents and my great-grandparents and my aunts and my great-uncles and aunts. Most of them have passed on now. But I've heard this play out in my own family. I've heard this story over and over and over in broken English when I was very young. And now I'm about to be 40 and I'm watching it play out in the USA. And how does it happen? I'll leave that up to your interpretation. But anyhow, right now we failed to close above the falling wedge. We failed to close above the ascending triangle. We failed to close above the weekly support on the 20-day. But we managed to save face and close above the 5.2. I mean, I was saying 5.28. I guess I was being a little generous. It's actually all the way down at 5, or I was being very hard on this. It's 5.24. So we closed above the 20 or the 200-day in the daily. So that's safe face. That's a massive pull up here, folks. That's a big pull up from here. We basically, it's like, what do you look at this? And I'm going to ask everybody again. Yeah, some people think the dollar's going to crash on Tuesday. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, this could have been a bear flag. I'm telling you, this thing has turned itself upside down and it's completely corrected itself. If this breaks out, that's the ultimate deception right there. Whenever they do shit like this in cryptocurrency, I'm telling you, the rarity of it not testing that bearish cross, it's almost zero. But because of the case we're in, depending on how they're trying to maneuver this, it could happen. But even if it does happen, you would think it would have to come up there to build some pressure. You know, come up here and boom. Because very rarely do you have a bearish cross in the daily when the timing is starting to, flip a little bit here. Where you wouldn't just test the 200 and then just roll over after you close above it. You normally would come up and hit the bearish cross cycle now. It does it in segments. That's why they always say, big dump, never, ever, ever, ever sell the beginning of the dump or somewhere within the dump. Because you always get, even if it's only an 80% reversal. So look, 30% dump. Right now we've corrected, even where we're at right now, about 15.5%. If it comes up here, that's only a 5.3% dump. In comparison to people dumping out for 30%. Also, you heard the horror stories, which I warned everybody in here about, and I was making a very stressful point when there was a chance we could break down. We looked at the bullish, but we also knew 37 cents was a possibility. And we didn't quite get there yet, but I told everybody about leverage trading. Everybody always asks me, why don't you leverage trade? Why don't you promote it? I used to leverage trade and promote it a little bit. But the biggest problem is that when you leverage trade, you don't, if you're even 2xing, you don't have to be 50 or 100% down. It's in the bylaws. It's like 80 something percent when you do the leverage. So everybody, even on a 2x trade, got liquidated. Ask anybody who was even in a 2x trade. They got liquidated on this area within a couple minutes. So I've talked to people and heard the horror stories that keep commenting in my chat about how they lost a significant part of their XRP holdings, even on a 2x. First of all, my number one piece of advice, if you're leverage trading, never, ever, ever put your holdings up for that. That's like going into the casino and saying, I got $1,000. I'm only willing to gamble 500, but if I only have I'm going to turn it into 1,500. And then you walk out with 500. And you're like, son of a bitch, I had 1,000. What was I doing? Just like if you had 10,000 XRP and you leverage 5,000 of them, and then you get liquidated and now you've only got 5,000 out of the 10, but you have no money to buy more, but because you were trying to have 15 at the end of it, I mean, that's how, you want to know how exchanges survive? You want to know how influencers make a bunch of money? That, right there. I don't do it for a reason. That's just, I don't like it. And plus, when you're doing that, you forget about the actual grand pattern. Whether you're in a 2, 5, 10, 50, the higher up the leverage, the shorter time frame you're always looking. You forget about the bigger picture, folks. That's the honest to God truth. Like right now, at least we already knew what would happen if this broke down. We started off the pattern smaller and finally formed it into a broadening wedge, or falling wedge. When we got resisted at 58, it became very, very urgent that this pattern had to hold when coming down into the 5445. But remember what I said when it was happening. I was very uncomfortable if we lost the 585 because I wasn't so sure the ascending triangle would hold. Now it can come back up and that's awesome. But I was talking about with the before liquidity sweep, which we've got. But man, the fact we came down there, XRP always has to be such a pain in the ass for one reason. Just think about this. The last 2 times we had a weekly golden cross, XRP fell by 60% or more. So first weekly golden cross was back in here. I had it circled on my other chart, but this is easier to see. Happened in here. Second one happened. I'm gonna have to go back to my other chart because I don't want to lie because this is important. The second one happened right here. So first one back in roughly March of 2020. Second one roughly February of 2021. Third one roughly end of July 2023, mid-July. Well, each of the first 2 times, XRP's price action fell by 60%. At least 60%. So now what does XRP do? It had the perfect, I mean, when I say perfect, the tailor-made opportunity on that liquidity grab. And you know what some people pointed out to me? On some of them, they went below that. They went below that. So, but XRP had the opportunity on that liquidity dump and sweep. Man, that seems a little high. I don't remember it being 94. Oh, that's on this chart. See the difference? On the one I always pay attention to, it's 94 or 93.7 in the short term. This one's all the way up at 94.8. But look at that. If it would just come down to that 2020 uptrend, that would be your 60% move. That would have satisfied it. That's why I'm being cautiously optimistic that we could go up. But at the same time, I know the significance of that correction if it happens. And like some people will try to say in the comments, your predictions never come right. They shouldn't. I don't make predictions. I stopped making predictions after I made the call from $1.66 that XRP would hit 52 cents. And then ultimately I said it would go sub 40. And then there was a possibility, at the time it was a 35% chance or whatever to go sub 20 and ultimately 12 cents. Now that's up to about a 50% chance. If we were to lose this formation, it would be even higher. But until we break back out of here, there is a chance if we lose this 2020 uptrend, then you come down to the 2017 uptrend, which is breakdown at about 19.8. So there's a lot of stuff to happen here. And now I think a lot of this is optics though, because what do we always ask ourselves? Volume predicts price. Volume predicts price. We say this all the time. Wow, if the volume's predicting price, what the hell happened here? We've got the weekly 518 million on this chart. But now you come over here, 286, But I use this chart, Binance. Bitfinex, I use it, but I like this chart better. Binance seems to be, you get a lot of the manipulation happen on Binance. So 453, and now you're down to 127. That doesn't seem like a real good clearing candle, unless it was a liquidity sweep candle. We've had the volume crashing. That's usually signs of a bullish reversal. It is uber hot out here today in Michigan. We had like 60 and 65 degrees for a while. Now it's over 90. Right now it's still 87 and it's 817 or 86. Ugh. No fun. No fun. So what does everybody think? 191 people here. Wow. Wow. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for tuning in and joining in. Being part of this this back and forth. 139 likes. Make sure to hit that like button. It really does help me more than you know. You know, if we don't get to, I can't remember the last time we were under 110% of likes during a live. So please, please hit that like button. I would not dump 2K in right now. Somebody said. I wouldn't either. Only because before you want to do that, you want to make sure where the levels are. Remember what we talked about? We were bearish coming out of the daily. I mean, out of the weekly close. So now we had to see first layer 2-hour time frame. We talked about this before it happened. First layer will probably come down here, 53 cents. If that doesn't hold, your second layer is going to be the daily support, which is just below this at about 524, which is the 200. And soon as you do, then you're, yep. That's why I don't like to buy when the rally's happening. Now, if you bought when it was on part of this dump, and let's just say you bought in at 49 cents. Well, now it's your job, if that was your first buy, to buy in 20% below that until it finally stops doing it. That's what I talk about. That's my strategy. We sold at $1.66, bought back in the bear market at $3.46. You know, we gave up a 47-cent average. We were fine with it because it was the end of a bull market. Now I'm not even interested in selling because of the 35% capital gains tax in the USA. It's just that simple. It's that simple. Outside of a year, it's only 15%. So now, with the taking this as the accumulation phase, I'm positioned for 20% below. That's it. It's such an easy strategy. So 12,222 tokens, 20% below that. If it goes down, you know, that'll put me at, you know, I put my first buy around 2,000, maybe 2,500 tokens. Every 20% below that, it increases because the price is getting cheaper. Same dollar value is going in. And then if you have to do it 5 times, so be it. You have 5 equal buys and it'll bring your average down by more than half. And honestly, if you care about an average that much, the only reason I care about the average is my initial buy-in. I don't give a shit after that. That's my buy-in. Now, whatever I have to do, I'm hoping it goes down. See, that's the thing that is the misunderstanding. I want it to go farther down. I'm not happy yet. Even though I'm at a full bag, I know at this time in history, it's either now or never if we're going to go way down. If we're going to get that huge capitulation down, which we just had some. So, yeah, I'm not interested in swing trading KBs because the compounding interest from the capital gains tax, or the compounding tax, I should say, it essentially wipes out your swing trade over time. It doesn't seem like it because you're making money, but think about it. 35% of every sale, 35%, 35%, even if you're doing good, 35%. I mean, on 100 grand, that would cost you 35,000 compared to outside of a year, it would only cost you 15. And if you're swing trading up and down, but you know the real direction, chances are you could have accumulated instead of taking the short-term profit, kept accumulating in, and then ended up selling it out in the bigger picture. And yeah, Terry, at some point, anything under $1 will be fine. Where I bought it is no reason for anybody to stress out. If you didn't buy it where I did, that's excellent. You don't need to. There's all opportunity. All you need to know is a strategy to continue building the bag. Right now, Bitcoin in the 2-hour, we're trying first layer, but I mean, all of them look a little bearish coming out of the close. They just look like they might need a little more help to push up. Honestly. But, you know, what do I know? We're trying to hold the 45-minute support to try to have a bullish cross here. This could be the little pull down here. It came up to 26,300. Now it's down here a couple hundred. But once you start losing these time frames, then you would start breaking down pretty rapidly. But right now, like I said, this looks designed like, hey, we still need to come up a little bit higher. Man, you know, we never used to hear it like that until this year. The cicadas, if that's what it is. Is that the cicada? For anybody who knows. Because we never heard it that loud. Now they sound robotic. And they'll be like, and you'll hear them flying across. Never used to sound robotic like that. Not like that. Yeah, that's what I thought. But Bitcoin, it is. That's what I was saying. It is absolutely drone sounding. Me and Julie said the same thing. They sound robotic. But my breakdown from the broadening wedge, I had Bitcoin pegged on a breakdown instead of a break up. If it broke down, the target was 25,194. So do I think it's going to come back down? It's probably, but that's one of those cases. Is it close enough when it came within 500 or 450 points or 75 points? You know, that's what we have to ask ourselves. I don't know. So I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, Jay. But yeah, Tanya, we're trying to hold the 45-minute support right now on that bullish cross with Bitcoin. But it's looking a little iffy here. So with XRP, even though we didn't get the daily close or the weekly close we wanted, we still got the daily close we wanted. We're still looking fine in the 2 hour. In fact, in the 1 hour, we were looking excellent. We had that bullish cross, and now we're trying to hold it as support. Our next layer to get over is the ascending triangle. This is the market cap. We just need to get back over this. XRPs looks exactly the same. But we need to get back over this, and maybe that's when we make a attempt to fill this gap again, because you have a gap here now that's going to end up happening. I don't have it in the 1 minute, but I guarantee there's a gap here. So we probably would need to come back up here and retest those areas. It looks like we're not done yet. As much as it looks like we closed in a bad spot, it looks like we could still trickle up here a little bit more. The 2 hour, if you come down, you're just going to try to re-support at 28.05 billion. So that's not really, that's not a big deal. And XRP, you know, even with the big bearish cycle, it managed to recover in the market cap 23%. And it recovered about $5.4 billion in market cap. I mean, I think that's a little more than nothing. The fact that it was able to pull up that much. So, it's like, what's really going on here? Is this a very bearish cycle in disguise, like a bear trap? Or is this one leg down and we still have another to go? The daily tells us, at least in the daily, and it'll look the same on the market cap, at least in the daily, we held it. See this? At least we held it. But now with these candles, oh, this is easier to see now. This looks like a gravestone doji here. So let me get this out. So this looks like a gravestone doji. So it's very decided on this area. But now we would have to break over in this candle to try to flip this bearish thesis over 29.42 billion. As to where we only need to come below 27.3 to break below. Some say we need to come back down to 50 cents. I seen that. 507 approximately, I think someone said. 5074. I mean, we could come down there. That's around the weekly. That's the weekly 200. I would say if we're going to come back down here, yeah, you need to retest this. If you're going to show support, we came up. Now it would be a nice liquidity sweep real quick down to about the 509, 507. That's fine. We need to come hit that weekly 20-day. I completely agree, and this is what we talked about yesterday, that if we ended up doing it, it would show a sign of strength, but I was hoping that we could pull up just a little bit higher. Figured it wouldn't happen. That's why I'm still more thinking there's a better chance that we could hit 37 cents, at least from the outside looking in. But the way it's actually set up, perception, it might not always be reality here. That's what I'm saying. Even though it's about 54% chance at 37 cents, the 46% might be stronger than the 54. The daily close at least showed a sign of strength. The weekly close left some to be desired. The fact we're under the ascending triangle and the falling wedge leaves a little bit to be desired. But we're doing this in steps now. So what do we think? What do we think? 40 minutes. Wow. Look at that. 160 people, 161 likes. We've done it again. Thank you all so much. I'm telling you, watch anybody else you looking alive. To hit 100% more on all the lives while we're live, that's an honor. I don't take that lightly. Yeah, trading with J-Ride, the daily we need to hold right where you're saying. Oh, you're talking about, wait a minute, what? Daily we need to hold 5677. I mean, you're talking about coming back up here. I don't know. First step is to hold here in the daily at worst case scenario. If we want to flip this J-Ride, we got to come all the way over up to 596 right now and get on top of the 20-day. We've got a wide gap here, but yeah, that 57, what did you say? 56.7, big area in there. We're surrounded in that area. We got the 558 over there as well. So, I don't know. I mean, that's basically, that's what I got. That's everything I can think of with XRP. XLM came down and retested the ascending, or the bear flag formation. This actually extends all the way out. We just did it in pairs. But now it retested here now. Came back up over the 200, so this is much in the same position as XRP. This needs to come back over first layer still, though. It's not even out of the neck of the woods yet. We didn't get back above the 20-day and the 13.2. We still need to get back over 14 cents in the worst of ways. But even worse of ways, we need to close over that 13 area, and we failed. It's not looking that bad, though, right now. This was a nice reversal candle. Now, if we can show some strength, you'd need to get over there with XLM. Whoops, sorry. I don't know why I use that crosshair. With XLM, you need to break up and over. First, this layer, but you need to get up over here and clear this level. Ultimately, to get over here to return bullish, over 15 cents. Do you think the BRICS meeting on 8/22/23 will affect the price? That's speculative at best, that it'll affect the price on the day of. It depends what they announce. Depends what they announce, and it all depends, for crypto, what the US dollar currency does. If the US dollar tanks, risk on, and crypto will probably shoot up with commodities. At least crypto and commodities. If the dollar has a big push up for whatever unexpected reason, well, yeah, then you're going to have a big dump. That could get you right to 37 instantly. But that's the way it's going to play out for real. If they say they will no longer use the US dollar, that means that they are 100%, even if they don't use the words, if they say they're not using the US dollar, it means that they've officially gone back to a gold-backed standard, a system. Because that means the only way they could do that is if they use Saudi Arabia is going to pay these individual countries that are part of the BRICS, they're going to pay them in gold. So basically they would turn over their fiat, get paid in return in gold. And then eventually you would just have whatever they call it. If that's my speculation, that's how you would go back to the gold-backed standard. I don't think they're just going to come out and say it. But if they no longer accept the US dollar, it's over. It's over. And you're going to get rapid price fluctuations in the USA that go up. And people are going to say, what the hell is going on? That's why, I'm telling you, that's why we're going back to 2021. The government here has no choice. We have to go back to the blah, blah, blah. You all know what I'm talking about. When we couldn't leave our houses. That starts mid-September when we're going to have to remask up in the USA. It's just, it is what it is. And by December, by my birthday, I don't think I'm going to be able to do what I do normally. Fortunately for all of us, I do social media. Well, yeah, and when that happens, they can print on extraordinary amounts of money. And they might just prop up the markets to make us happy. But I'm telling you, that's going to happen. I can't talk about any more than that. But I am considering now more than ever starting a second station on another platform to talk a little bit deeper about the conspiracy side of things, let's say. I have a lot of knowledge of what's to come, and I can't talk about it on here. That's the shame of it. So with XRP, watch this bearish cross in the daily. I'm going to end this shortly here, everybody. Hey, Jason. Yep, I'm Sagittarius indeed. Rumble is good, but not many people there. Yeah, but Rumble, everybody says Rumble, but I've looked into it very deeply. That's controlled opposition as well. Just follow the paper trail. Yeah, I know, everybody says Patreon. Ooh, Gianni, my sister's birthday, September 20th. JW says, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Awesome. At least somebody is. I think a few of us in here understand. So let's go, let's look at this real quick. Don't really see any popping headlines right now to start the night. Oh my God, how did I forget? Oh my God. I can't believe I forgot. Everybody who's watching right now, my history. Watch this. Watch this, guys. This is for, oh my God, I can't believe I almost forgot this.
My design visit, we're exploding. But my old internet is not letting me.
All right, so this is back from 2017. Listen what the SEC director says back then about Bitcoin and Ethereum not being securities. Just listen to this. I'm so glad I remember this at the end. So I'm going to play this on my way out. So just watch this. Can't believe I forgot this. And you tell me this isn't a corrupt system. Just listen to the reasoning.
Neither Bitcoin nor Ether would be considered securities and thus not under
This is from 2017. This is from 2017.
the purview of the SEC. Can you very briefly explain what your reasoning is?
Sure, Bob. These are complex facts and circumstances tests, but...
Anybody recognize that name? Does anybody recognize this fine gentleman here? Just out of curiosity, anybody recognize this fine gentleman? I moved my talking head so you can actually see. ATK, see, I can't help with personally buying it. I'm not a financial advisor. Like, I can't tell you where to buy. I can't tell you how to buy, because I can personally be, you know what, held responsible. There's been precedent in the past, so I have to stay, you know, in a certain term. You can message me. You can message me, and I'll do my best to help you. But, like, that's the best I can do if it's to a portfolio standard. So, here's Mr. William Heyman. Listen to what he's saying. Listen to what he's saying.
When we look at Bitcoin or if we look at Ether and the highly decentralized nature of the networks, we don't see a third-party promoter where applying the disclosure regime would make a lot of sense. So we're comfortable in some...
Look at those. Look at the prices. Look at the prices. Bitcoin was at $6,642 when he was saying this.
Sort of viewing these as items that don't have to be regulated as securities.
Now, you also talked about initial coin offerings or ICOs, which are ways of raising money using cryptocurrencies. Did you use a similar reasoning? You implied that most seem to be securities,
exactly.
ICOs, but some of them are not. Can you just show us what the difference is simply?
I wish we had a simple way to say this is in and this is out. As I mentioned, they're usually facts and circumstances tests. But a key factor is there a third-party promoter here who knows much more about the instrument than investors might?
Listen to his explanation as we get going. It'll make you want to bash your head through the wall, this explanation.
That's the case. That's sort of an initial indicator that we might have.
Hey, but look at this, guys. Look how funny this is. Bitcoin, 6,650. Ether, 519. Litecoin, 101. XRP, 56 cents. When I always tell you XRP will make you bash your head through the wall, this is from 2017, and look where XRP's at. Isn't that kind of funny?
Securities transaction. If people are buying it for investment and for a return and looking to that party for a return, then...
Yes, XDC on Uphold. That's where I bought mine as well. XDC on Uphold. Yeah, keep listening. If you think it's bad, keep listening, Angela. It's unbelievable.
Again, that's an indicia of a security.
Yeah, Jan,
if
exactly.
You have, on the other hand, a token that's just used in the network for a good or service, and that's why people are buying it, and that service is available.
Mike, look in my video description below. It has the link for Uphold, so you don't have to go searching.
And up and running, not under development, then you may not have a security.
Mr. Hinman Kelly here, just to be clear, does that mean if stocks didn't have a third-party promoter, they wouldn't be securities?
Well, that's a great question.
Well, as you know, Kelly, stocks represent an interest in an enterprise where there's a management team, and it's really, whenever you're buying a stock or a bond, you're relying on that management team. Those are the third-party efforts we're talking about, where someone is creating value for you, you're passive, and you're expecting their efforts to generate a return.
So just to be clear, for example, a book of the month club that we're joining on an ICO, or a golf club membership, we're not expecting any financial gain there. That would not be considered a security, am I right?
Fair enough. If you have that system up and running, if you have someone promoting the next golf course and is selling interests, and the architect.
This explanation, I wanted to throw my tablet out the window when he said this.
And the land and all the key items aren't there yet, and you buy 25 memberships, that may be an investment. You're looking for a return on that. On the other hand, if you go down the road and you buy an investment or you buy a membership in a club that's up and running and you just use it to play a round of golf, that's probably just a good old golf membership.
Exactly.
You and Jay Clayton, the head of the SEC, have been very adamant that you are not going to change the definition of securities laws to fit this new technology. One of the points you made in your speech was the concern about the fraud that was out there in this space. Are you seeing significant fraud?
We do certainly see cases where people are trying to repackage an investment opportunity as a coin or a token, and saying that somehow because it's labeled that way, it's not an investment security. And in many cases, we have seen people doing that where the underlying enterprise is not a solid investment opportunity. It's been misrepresented. So we do see fraud, and we do see it being packaged up this way. On the other hand, we think there's an enormous amount of promise in the distributed ledger technology and blockchain technology, and
that's a good question, JW. I do remember the stadiums with the noise. That's a good question.
Frequently with legitimate parties here really trying to do something innovative, and we're trying to help them navigate the securities laws as they do so.
Hey, I mean, come on. Like, seriously. And then I was watching Gary Gensler, but I
greater competition. What do auction houses have to...
Listen to this. Like, if you guys think it's bad with the securities, listen to this guy, how he interprets things, and you think he's going to help us?
What do auction houses have to do with the stock market? Auction houses bring buyers and sellers together for sales of items in a competitive way.
Who's listening to this
sales
guy?
of baseball cards.
Who wants to hear what Gary Gensler's saying?
If you're selling something, you can often benefit from the transparency and competition of an auction. We see some examples of auctions in our financial markets. Stock markets, for example, use auctions at the beginning and end of the day to determine the price. The goal is getting the best out of competition. Now, there are many ways to instill competition in our financial markets, including through enhancing transparency, broadening access, creating a fair playing field, and auctions are just one of those ways. Let's look at the current market to see why it would benefit from greater competition. Let's say you, an investor, put in an order to buy or sell 10
'cause he
shares
cares
of stock.
about us.
You might think that your trades benefit from robust competition similar to an auction, or perhaps that it would have the transparency of a lit stock exchange, right? Well,
Yep.
actually, it turns out that more than 90% of retail investors' marketable orders are actually routed to a small group of off-exchange wholesalers operating in what's called the dark market. That doesn't seem to promote the greatest competition or fairness. The idea of competition is particularly relevant when it comes to your marketable orders. And that's because there's a sweetness about those retail.
Okay, so you guys see, it doesn't matter what he talks about. He doesn't know anything. This guy honestly doesn't know anything. I tried to find anything of reason with this guy. Nothing. I couldn't find one thing that he taught me that was good. So, that's basically it, folks. That's basically it. I mean, I don't even know what else to talk about. It's been a great night with everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you. Just pay attention to gold this week, silver, as gold and silver is doing the exact opposite. Look at this. For gold in the 4-hourly, you can see it better. That's in a falling channel. That is going to lead to a massive reversal at some point. It'll probably be at least a retest of up here. But that's a major falling channel. You've got silver. Not quite the same. It reversed its bearish trend. Now it came up here to hit resistance. But now if we look at the US dollar, the US dollar, this looks like it's the opposite of gold in a rising channel. So these are bearish reversals at the top. What gold's doing are bullish reversals at the bottom. So what the hell is actually going to happen here? Gold's not going to go down forever. And the dollar can't go up forever. So we're at a crossroads here, ladies and gentlemen. Where do I think silver's going? Depends. If we get rejected here, it wouldn't surprise me if we came back down to the bottom of this formation. But with what's happening, this very well could use this as a bullish setup. We would just need to bounce off $23. So in the future, I mean, I don't think it's going to take as long as some people who have been watching this for a long time. But everything is ready to go. Gold in particular. Gold is so... It's been a long time. There's one thing I forgot to answer, and I don't even know if this person's still there. The weekly cup and handle on XRP, real quick before I leave. The weekly cup and handle is absolutely still valid. Let me go into the other chart because it's easier to see. That weekly cup and handle is absolutely valid. And we actually put a very bullish handle on the cup right now. Very bullish. Right here. So we came through. Now we built the handle, which if we come up, because you technically had one here, you had the grander pattern here, so basically you're going levels now, and then you would have to come up. But that's still very bullish. You built the bullish handle. I know it came farther down, but if you form out of here and bounce out and then bounce up, it's bullish. It might even come up here to double top. But if you hold that support, you got a big rally that can ensue here. $1.50 wouldn't be off the table if you can break out. That's the technical target out of this weekly time frame. Is it a good time to put $2,200 on XDC? Well, I won't tell you yes or no, but what I will do is tell you exactly where we're set up here. Where is my XDC? I don't even think this is the right XDC chart. Oh, maybe it is. Oh, I guess it is. That's a loaded question, my friend. That is a loaded question. You technically created a W reversal here. You're above the support in the 4-hourly. This could be very possibly ready to break out again. $2,200 though. You'd have to split this up into buys if you did it right now. Honestly, you'd have to split this up into what you'd be comfortable with. Because there's a chance you'd have to do it based on this drop. Because if we do flip bearish, you're looking at a 30 to 40% drop. So, and I'll just tell you, you would be more, you'd want it more on the big drop like that, or before this rally up. This is a tough call here. You do have a W reversal, but you basically finished a death cross, essentially, if we break down. J-Ride, thank you so much for the $10. I greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate that. Like, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Does that make sense, ATK? Because that's the technical target on a breakdown. That's the problem. That is a really tough question. If it was me, I would have to be damn sure I wouldn't buy it right now. You're underneath the daily 20-day. You got to make damn sure you don't get rejected there. Because if you do, you've got a big drop. And you'll get a much better buying opportunity. So, that's all I see, guys. But I just wanted to end with that. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you got anything out of this, please, please, please make sure to hit that like button. Consider subscribing to my channel. And believe it or not, join over the 18,200 subscribers now. If you want to show support, you can always send a YouTube Super Chat or join Tom's Army. But simply just hit the like button or share. That's all I ask. Thank you, Angela. Have a good night. Trading with J-Ride. JW, have a good one. Jules rules indeed. 1970 legend. I'm Prosperity. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure and honor as always. And I'll see you tomorrow on the live. Stay